is gonna be a struggle video. Hi beautiful child of God, it's Jasmine and welcome back to my channel Stay Classy by Jazzy. Today, as you can tell by the title, I'm doing a very chill, chit chat, get ready with me video. I'll be doing my hair today. It's fresh out of the shower, wet hair, and I'm gonna twist it all up and do sort of like a protective style because I just got home and I have a lot of cleaning to do in my room and I just don't feel like messing with my hair right now. But then also I'm just gonna like talk about my end of my semester, just my sophomore year in general, reflecting on things that happened, like being an RA for the first time, to living without a roommate for the first time, and just a bunch of other different things. But before I get into the video, I do want to say that the products I'll be using in this video, courtesy of Impressions of Beauty, is the Mane Choice products. And so I actually use their shampoo and conditioner and then their leave-in conditioner as well, more restorative mask in my hair. So the first product that I'll be using besides water, which is you can get anywhere, is the Mane Choice Tropical Moringa. It's the Sweet Oil and Honey Endless Moisture Pearly Glaze Braid Out Glaze. When I use the products, first and foremost, they smell so good. And my favorite color is blue, and look at this. Look how blue it is. And then the next thing I'm going to use is the Sweet Oil and Honey Endless Moisture Restorative Spray. And then after that, I'm going to seal up all that moisture with the sealing cream. And so they're all tropical moringa and they all smell really, really good. So this is going to be really cool. I'm really excited to try out these products and I'm really curious to see if my hairstyle is going to work. But this is a very long intro, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the chit chat. Let's go. So I also have notes on my phone of what I want to talk about. So the first thing is becoming an RA. I've never really talked about my journey to becoming an RA. And I don't know if I'm going super detailed because I think I want to do a separate video about becoming an RA. It's a story that I think is really important. It's essentially a testimony because it's a job that God called me to that I never really saw myself fulfilling, especially so early on in my college career. What I will say about it is that my mom talked to me about it freshman year. It's like, would you be interested in being an RA? My coworker, his daughter's an RA and all that stuff, and you get a chance to get your room taken care of, and then you also have a job on campus and you get a chance to meet people more. And I was kind of like, yeah, that sounds good, but I really wasn't committed to that idea. Well, end of my freshman year, I got the opportunity to apply to be a RA. After my current RA, shout out to Mia if you're watching this, thank you. She slid a brochure under my door and just encouraged me to become an RA. So I was like, what's the worst that could happen? I can apply and not get in and I'll just live with my friends next year in like an apartment style dorm, or I apply and I become an RA and it's a new journey. And as you guys could tell, I got in, but there was a whole story of like receiving that brochure and getting encouraged to be an RA to actually, you know, becoming an RA in my first year experience with that. So I'll go more in detail about that in terms of how God called me to be an RA when I didn't feel like I was ready. So I feel like that's a really good important video that I want to make in this coming week, probably sometime this May, just because I have a lot of free time to film. Also, I talk a lot with my hands and I haven't done anything with my hair, so let me split my hair real quick. My parts are not going to be super clean just because my twists usually like swell up and get big, so you won't really even see the parts. Fingers crossed. The more twist I have, the more fuller it'll look. I'm just gonna start off by spraying this section real quick. Put water to make sure it's nice and damp enough so it'll be easier to work with. Even though I just got out of the shower, I kind of dried it with a t-shirt, so I took most of the water out. And then I'm going to do the braid out glaze. Okay, so basically, my first year as an RA, what I can remember is just being super like, wow, this is really happening kind of feeling. I didn't feel prepared for it. I didn't feel like I was ready. I just felt just like, how am I able to guide freshmen into their first year of college when I'm still trying to figure it out kind of thing. But it taught me a lot about myself and it challenged me a lot. And it just taught me that I really need to, like, I had no choice but to rely on God and trust Him because He put me in this position and I needed to figure out why. I couldn't do this on my own and I didn't want to do it on my own. So this helped me strengthen my faith a lot more. Sorry, I talk with my hands, so like talking while doing my hair and trying to tell my story and make it like, you know, make sense is kind of an interesting task for me. My first couple months of being an RA, I really was struggling with this comparison syndrome, I guess you could say, of seeing comparing how I was. So I really struggled with comparing how I, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, so I struggled with comparison in terms of figuring out comparing how I function as an RA compared to all my other friends who were RAs and how they function and how they were essentially fulfilling the role. And like, I remember seeing some of my RA friends and how the residents they were so buddy with the residents, and I was like, wow, I should be a better RA. My residents are not like that, and all that stuff. I'm also using the restorative spray. It works. It smells so good. But basically, this is gonna be a struggle video. Okay, you know what? I can't even see. I just sprayed my neck. Oh boy. But basically, I struggle with that because I felt I was comparing my relationship with my residents to the relationship with my friends' residents, and that was just put me in like a very poor mindset because I'm a different person. I'm more of a reserved, introverted person, and my floor tend to have more of that kind of mentality as well. And so it wasn't the question of whether my residents and I were getting along or if I was doing enough for them. It was just more so like how my residents and I interacted versus how they interacted. And just because they were more reserved and didn't need me as much as my friends' residents need me didn't mean that I was being a bad RA. In fact, I gave my residents each a thank you card as they were moving out and checking out for the year, and just hearing the feedback they gave me about how wonderful I was as an RA, how I helped them, and how I just kind of, you know, was a great guide for them on the first year of college made me feel like I fulfilled the role the way I need to fulfill it, and that I shouldn't feel the pressure to be someone I'm not. Okay, my next goal is all about declaring a major. So if you guys don't know, I am a psychology major, and I declared that I was trying to think of this freshman, but no, it's fall semester. I came into Belmont as a freshman undeclared, not knowing what I wanted to do as a major. I had so many options and I couldn't choose, but then I came in this year and just took a leap of faith and just like took 2 psych classes and then also declared psych as a major. And I am loving psychology as a major and as a field. It's so interesting to learn how the mind works and just how like human behavior and how those two align, the mind and human behavior, and just like understanding these different things. And like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just very fascinating to me because I've always for a long time, since I was like as long as I remember, been fascinated by how people work. And it was just a class that I really was fascinated by because I was always learning something constantly, and I enjoy learning new things because then I can impart that knowledge on other people like you guys and my family and my friends. Like if you were to ask my friends, they're like always like, yeah, Jasmine's always like spitting out like psychology information and knowledge, but it's so cool. Moving right along, this is going to be a very long process, you guys. I'm going to braid up until the point where I'm done talking, and I'll come back later and show you the finished hairstyle. My next point is like hitting 1,000 subscribers last year. So I hit that last September on my YouTube channel, and for reference, if this is your first time watching my YouTube channel, I started it in January of 2018, and then in September of 2018, I can't remember an exact date, I should remember, but I just know early September, I hit 1,000 subscribers, and my goal was to hit 1,000 subscribers in December 2018, and I surpassed that very, very earlier than I expected, and it was I remember crying. I have Snapchats of myself crying because it was just like a surreal moment of like, holy cow, I actually hit 1,000 subscribers on my channel in less than a year. And like, I just couldn't fathom this, like, that many people wanted to watch the work that I created. And what was more special than that was that my friends surprised me with a 1,000K little mini party with my friends. I was kind of sussy. I was kind of suspicious. I'm a very observant person, like I mentioned earlier, and so I can catch up pretty well. I can catch on pretty well to like little cues. And my friends, I guess, are not the best at like hiding or acting natural when they're trying to hide something. So I just remember them coming up to me maybe like a couple of days before the actual like surprise party, and they were like, hey, they all came together first of all, and then the second of all, they were like talking, making small talk while I was working the desk, and then they were like, so are you doing anything? When was it? Was it Sunday night or Friday night? Thursday night? It was like a certain night. I can't remember. I think it was a weekday, like Thursday night. Let's say Thursday night. Just to say something. Are you doing anything Thursday night around? I can't remember if they said a time or whatever. I think they said a time too, which made me more sussy. Or basically they asked me if I was available at a certain time. I was like, no, I'm not doing anything as far as I know. And I was like, why are they asking me this in my head? But I didn't say it out loud. And they're like, oh, nothing. Just wanted to see if you want to do homework or something. I was like, okay, sure, blah, blah, blah. And so fast forward, the day of my surprise party that I didn't know when it was going to happen, but I was sussy about because they were acting weird for a while. Two of my friends came down to my room because we were going to go study. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll study together. And I was kind of like, you know, not as sussy anymore because like, oh yeah, they're coming to study. But then two of them showed up and they were like, it was like they were stalling. Like they were stalling and I knew they were stalling because I was like, why are they just trying to make small talk with me? I thought we were going to go study somewhere. And I was just like really just kind of like, what's going on? They're like on their phone texting every so often. And then like eventually they were like, okay, we can go now. I'm like, what do you mean we could go now? I was ready. I've been ready for like 10 minutes. So we walked down the hallway and we were going to go to our study spot, but we go in the elevator and I was like, okay, yeah, cool. And I didn't notice it at first, but when the elevator opened, I thought I was going to go to like the lobby area, but it wasn't. It was another floor. And so they started getting off the elevator and I was like, guys, what are you guys doing? This is not the lobby. And they're like, we know. We're like, no, we have to go to the lobby. We're studying somewhere. We're not going on this floor. And I kept walking and they kept walking. I was like, guys, come back in the elevator. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, oh snap, my suspicions are right. I was sussy for a reason. And they were like walking, they're like, come on, and I was like, no, because I knew what was going to happen. I was like, no, this is not happening, this cannot happen, because I didn't want to get my hopes up and then it'd be nothing, but I was pretty sure it was something. Long story short, I walk in and they walk into the classroom, the lights were off. I walk into the door and the lights come on, they're like, surprise! And a lot of my friends were there and I had a little cake and I was just like, oh my gosh, because I was suspicious of it, but I didn't want to get like my hopes up. And if it was nothing, be disappointed. So I just kind of kept on telling myself it was nothing. So for it to be something, it was just like a really fun moment. And I love my friends for it. Like, I would have never thought in a million years that they would throw me like a 1K surprise party. It was just the icing on the cake at that time. And it just really made me feel special. So I'm very thankful for them. I'm going to finish my hair off camera just because this took way too long. And I obviously need my hands to talk, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, here's the big reveal. Ta-da! It is all done. Here's a look at what the twists look like. I'm not going to touch them too much because they're still kind of wet and I'm allowing them to dry. This was a pretty quick hairstyle. It took me about maybe an hour, a little over an hour after I turned off the camera and stopped talking to actually, finish them up. But I'm actually really impressed at how well my twists turned out. They're still drying and they're still plumping up, so they still got some like volume to amass. But I'm really impressed with the products and how good my hair smells first and foremost, but also how soft and manageable it is. And I'm really excited to see what the twist out's gonna look like once I get tired of just wearing my twist out. I feel like my twists look really healthy, like my hair looks really healthy and my hair looks very shiny and moisturized, which is always a plus. This video is already long enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a nice little thumbs up. And while you're at it, go ahead, feel free to subscribe to my channel down below with the red subscribe button so you can officially join the Classy crew, which is the community that I'm building here on this channel. And don't forget to ring that little bell too right next to the subscribe button so you can get notified whenever I upload new videos, which will be a lot more in the month of May because I have a lot more free time to film and edit. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next video. Don't forget to stay classy, Classy crew. Bye.